Imagine winning in business without fighting a single battle. Picture walking into negotiations already knowing you've won. Think about getting rich without risking it all. This is not a fantasy. This is strategy. There's a book older than any business school. It's called The Art of War. It's not just for generals and soldiers. It's for you. It's for anyone who wants freedom. People say business is war, but real winners avoid war. They win without fighting. That's how true wealth is built. On the passive path, we talk about building wealth the smart way. Not through blind hustle, not through risky bets, but through careful strategy. I've studied finance and business for years. I've watched how the rich play the game. They're not always smarter. They're just better prepared. They know when to advance. They know when to step back. They know how to look weak to stay strong. They know how to win before the battle even starts. Some of the richest people alive, politicians, investors, they all study this book. Not because they want to fight, but because they want to avoid fighting. They want to protect what they've built. They want to win without losses. This video will show you how. I'll break down Sun Tzu's teachings. I'll show you how to apply them in business, in investments, in your career, and in life, all in simple, practical terms. I'll use real examples from the modern world, because the art of war still matters today. On the passive path, we believe in working smarter. We believe in protecting your money. We believe in building freedom one step at a time. So stay with me, because you're about to learn how to win without fighting, and that's the ultimate way to live. The passive path is here to help you reach that goal. Why waste years in battles you could have avoided? Why fight when you could win before the fight begins? Let's get into the first lesson. The best way to win is not to fight. The greatest victory is the battle you never have to fight. That's one of the core lessons in the art of war. Sun Tzu says the best generals win without war. They avoid conflict whenever they can. Why fight when fighting costs time, money, and energy? Why attack when you can win by making your enemy surrender first? Think about business lawsuits. Someone threatens to sue. You feel angry. You want to prove you're right. But legal battles drain cash fast. Lawyers charge hundreds of dollars an hour. Court cases drag on for years. Even if you win, you may spend more than you gain. That's not victory. That's waste. A smart business owner often chooses to settle. It may feel unfair, but it's cheaper than a long fight. That's winning without fighting. Imagine two business partners disagree. Instead of fighting, they split ways peacefully. Both keep their reputations. Both save money. That's winning without fighting. Or think about employees who, on paper, they have rights. The law protects them, but legal costs are high. And big companies have legal teams ready to drag cases out. Many employees can't afford the fight, so they lose even if the law says they're right. That's why the art of war says avoid battles unless you know you can win. And even then, think twice. Ask yourself if the fight is worth the cost. Because in many battles, nobody wins. You spend energy, you lose money, you damage relationships. Sometimes the smart move is to step back, or to look weak, so the other side lets their guard down. It's not cowardice, it's strategy. On the passive path, we believe wealth comes from protecting what you have, from avoiding pointless battles, from knowing when to walk away. That's how you stay in the game. That's how you keep growing. Because if you lose everything in a fight, there's nothing left to rebuild. So before any conflict, ask yourself 3 questions. Is the cost of fighting worth the result? If the answer is no, don't fight. Find another way. That's how the wealthy stay wealthy. They pick their battles carefully. They know most fights are not worth it. They save their energy for opportunities that pay off. They win before the fight starts. And that's your goal too. But if we're not fighting, what are we doing instead? We're winning first. Let's win before the fight even starts. That's one of the smartest ideas in the art of war. Sun Tzu calls it winning first, then fighting only if you must. It means you set yourself up so well that victory is nearly certain, or you gain the rewards without having to fight at all. Let's look at how this works in real life. Imagine a property developer wants to build houses. Usually you'd think he needs a lot of money to buy land and build first. But there's another way. He buys the land with borrowed money. Then he designs a beautiful model of the future houses. He shows buyers the plans. He says if they pay now, they get a cheaper price. People love the deal. They pay up front. The developer uses that money to pay for the land and construction. By the time the houses are built, he's already made a profit. He won before the first brick was laid. He didn't risk his own cash. He didn't wait years to see money. Think about how Apple takes pre-orders for new products. They announce the product, They collect millions of dollars in orders before shipping a single device. They use your money to fund production. They win before shipping anything. Or look at Kickstarter projects. Creators pitch an idea. They collect money first. They use that money to create the product. If not enough people buy in, they cancel the project. No risk, no wasted money, no fighting a losing battle. They only produce if they know they'll win. That's smart business. On the passive path, we believe in testing the market first. Never bet big unless you're sure there's demand. Here's how you win before the fight. Research your market. Know what people want. Sell the idea before building it. Take deposits or pre-orders. Keep costs low until you're certain. Start small and scale when demand is proven. The biggest mistakes happen when people jump in without... They invest money they can't afford to lose. Then they have to fight hard battles just to survive. That's the opposite of Sun Tzu's wisdom. If you win first, you never have to fight. So ask yourself, before you start a business, before you launch a product, before you invest, have you already won? Or are you going in blind, hoping luck will save you? Always aim to win first, because that's the safest path to wealth. But how do you know if the odds are truly in your favor? You have to know yourself and know yourself, know your enemy. Sun Tzu said, if you know both, you will not fear the result of 100 battles. This lesson matters in business, investing, and life. People lose money because they don't know their limits, or they don't study their competitors, or they lie to themselves about their strengths. Winning starts with honest analysis. Ask yourself what you're good at. Ask yourself what you're bad at. Ask yourself what resources you really have. That's knowing yourself. Now think about your competitors. What do they do better than you? Where are they weak? What do customers like about them? What do customers hate about them? That's knowing your enemy. In business, this is called SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Every smart business uses it. You should too. Imagine you own a small coffee shop. A giant coffee chain opens nearby. If you know yourself, you admit they have more money. They have cheaper... But if you know them, you also see their weaknesses. They're generic. They're impersonal. They don't know your local customers by name. So you focus on your strengths. You give personal service. You remember regular customers' orders. You create a cozy space people love. You build loyalty. You win by being small and personal, not by trying to outspend a giant. Or think about investing. You might be great at spotting tech stocks, but terrible at understanding real estate. If you know yourself, you focus on tech. If you lie to yourself, you jump into real estate and lose money. Many people try to copy others. They see someone get rich in crypto, so they jump in without knowledge. Then they lose everything. They didn't know themselves. They didn't know the market. On the passive path, we talk about staying in your zone. Play the games you know you can win. Avoid battles in areas where you're weak. That's how wealth is built safely. So before you launch a product, ask these questions. What am I good at? What am I bad at? Where can I win? Where should I avoid fighting? Know yourself. Know your enemy. Then choose your battles wisely. But even if you're ready, should you attack? Sometimes the smartest move is to... Patience is power. In the art of war, Sun Tzu teaches that waiting can win wars. He says the best victory comes without fighting. Sometimes the smartest move is to look weak, or even to accept small losses, so you can strike when the time is right. This is true in business and in life. Think about a negotiation. One side is loud and aggressive. The other stays quiet. The quiet side waits. The aggressive side gets tired. They show their weaknesses. Then the quiet side makes their move. They win because they waited. That's patience. Or think about markets. Stocks crash. Everyone panics. Smart investors wait. They keep cash ready. When prices are low, they buy. Then they profit when markets recover. They win because they were patient. There's an old story about Timon in ancient China. His enemy tried to provoke him. They mocked him. They sent him a woman's dress as an insult. They wanted him to attack in anger. Instead, he laughed. His soldiers were shocked, but he waited. He let the enemy run out of food. Then he won without losing a man. That's patience. Sometimes looking weak is the strongest move. In business, this might mean avoiding public fights, or letting competitors think you're not a threat, then moving in when they're exposed. Or in your career, you might pass up a promotion because the job is risky. You wait for a safer, better role, and get it later with less stress. Impatience costs people money. It leads to bad deals, rushed investments, arguments that damage your name. On the passive path, we believe patience protects your wealth. Wealth is not built in one giant leap. It grows steadily over time. So don't feel pressured to act fast. Sometimes the right move is to wait. But if we're patient, how do we strike when the time is right? Winning takes more than luck. It takes building your advantage. Sun Tzu said every battle is won or lost before it's ever fought. He talks about 5 key factors. They decide who wins. They apply in war. They apply in business. They apply in your life. The first is Tao. That's your purpose, your vision, your mission. Why do you exist? What problem do you solve? Companies with a strong purpose attract loyal customers. They attract good employees. People follow them because they believe in the mission. Look at Apple. They say they exist to challenge the status quo. People buy into that story. That's Tao. On the passive path, our Tao is helping you reach financial freedom. We're not just talking about money. We're talking about choices, control over your time, and living without fear. The second factor is Thien. That means timing. The trends of the world. Even the best idea fails if the timing is wrong. Look at the internet in the 1990s. He started Alibaba when few people in China believed in online business. He caught the wave early. He won because of timing. Or think about electric cars. 20 years ago, few people cared. Now the world is shifting. Companies that timed it right are thriving. The third factor is Anda. That's your terrain, your unique advantages. It's about where you choose to compete. A small business shouldn't try to fight a giant on price. Instead, find a niche. Serve a specific group deeply. That's your terrain. Or in your career. You might be great at communication, but you're stuck in a job that needs only technical skills. Your talent is wasted. You need to find terrain where your skills shine. The fourth factor is Tune. That's leadership. Do people want to follow you? Will they help you reach your goal? Leadership is not just barking orders. It's inspiring trust. It's making people feel valued. It's sharing rewards. Good leaders attract talent. Even in small businesses, leadership matters. A boss who listens keeps good staff. A boss who screams loses them. The fifth factor is FOP. That's your systems, your rules, your incentives. Do you reward people who help you win, or do you keep everything for yourself? Look at companies like Costco. They pay workers well, they share profits. Employees stay loyal. And the business thrives. Sharing power and rewards is not weakness. It makes your team stronger. Sun Tzu's 5 factors help you plan: purpose, timing, terrain, leadership, systems. When you line these up, you build an advantage, and you're far less likely to lose. On the passive path, we believe in stacking advantages. Little edges add up to big wins. So ask yourself, what is your purpose? Is your timing right? Where is your best terrain? Do you have people who support you? Do your systems help you or slow you down? Once you build your advantage, you have to protect it. Let's talk about defense keeps you safe. In the Art of War, Sun Tzu teaches that defense is stronger than attack. He says the best fortress cannot be taken. Warren Buffett says the first rule of investing is don't lose money. The second rule is never forget the first rule. This is not fear, this is wisdom, because when you lose money, you lose time, you lose options, you lose confidence. Defense means protecting what you've earned. It means avoiding big risks that can wipe you out. In business, this might mean keeping cash reserves, so you can survive bad months, or avoiding debt you can't pay back, or having insurance to cover disasters. In investing, defense means diversifying. Don't put all your money in one place. Have some safe assets, so you're not ruined if one bet goes bad. Defense means having an emergency fund, enough cash to cover months of living costs, so you're not forced to sell investments at a loss, or go into debt when problems hit. Defense and planning for them. It doesn't mean hiding forever. It means being ready, so you can stay calm and keep going when others panic. Many people chase huge profits. They gamble everything on one idea. When it fails, they have nothing left. That's why defense matters. On the passive path, we believe defense comes first. Wealth takes time to build. One mistake can set you back years, so play defense before you attack. But is it ever smart to attack? Sometimes yes. Sometimes it's smart to attack. Sun Tzu says only fight when victory is certain, but when the time is right, strike hard. Opportunities don't last forever. Markets open, new industries appear, technology changes. People who move first often win big, but they move after careful planning, not reckless guesses. Think about the rise of streaming video. Netflix moved fast. They saw DVDs fading. They built streaming before others believed. Now they're an industry leader. Or look at electric cars. Tesla saw the shift early. They invested while others laughed. Now they lead the market. These are attacks, but they were smart attacks. They were based on research, on trends, on data, not on blind hope. If you attack, make sure you have reserves. Make sure failure won't destroy you. Attack with money you can afford to lose. Test ideas small before going big. Use pilots. Use soft launches. Use pre-orders. Only scale when you're sure. On the passive path, we're not afraid to take action, but we do it with eyes open and a safety net in place. So look for moments when markets are changing, when competitors are asleep, when people want something new. That's the time to move. But always ask yourself, am I truly ready? Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the cash? Can I survive if I fail? If the answer is yes, then strike. That's how fortunes are made. But how do you avoid going too far? Know your limits. Sun Tzu warns that overconfidence destroys armies. The same happens in business and life. People see one success. They think they're unstoppable, so they overreach. They bet everything on the next deal. Then they lose it all. That's how fortunes vanish. Startups often fail this way. They raise money. They grow too fast. They hire too many people. They burn cash. Soon the money runs out, and they collapse. Or investors get greedy. They borrow money to invest more. Then markets fall, and debt wipes them out. It's the same mistake every time, forgetting limits. Believing good times will last forever. On the passive path, we stay humble. We respect our limits. If your business makes $10,000 a month, don't suddenly spend $50,000. If you're new to investing, don't bet your savings on complicated trades. Stay in your zone. Work your edge. Grow slowly. Look at Warren Buffett. He avoids business because he knows his limits. And he stays rich. Many people chase huge goals. They think small dreams are failures, but that's wrong. Small, steady wins build real wealth. If you stretch too far, you break. So ask yourself, do I have enough skills for this project? Do I have enough money to survive mistakes? Am I ignoring risks because I'm excited? Check yourself. Respect your limits. Then expand them carefully. That's how to grow without risking everything. But even if you're careful, how do you put all of this together? Let's talk about how to win without fighting. That's the heart of the art of war, and it's the secret to building wealth. You don't have to crush your enemies. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to take huge risks. You can win quietly, by knowing yourself, by studying the world, by preparing before you act, by protecting what you earn, by waiting for the right moment. This is how real freedom happens. Freedom to choose your work. Freedom to walk away from bad deals. Freedom to spend time how you want. Many people believe success is all hustle. They think you must fight every day, but fighting drains you. Fighting costs money. Fighting breaks relationships. True power is calm. It's patient. It's confident. Look at great leaders. They speak softly. They act when it matters. They avoid pointless battles. This is how wealth grows safely. On the passive path, we believe in winning first. We believe in defense. We believe in and we believe in helping you build a life you control. Here's what to remember. Avoid fights unless you're sure to win. Win before the battle starts. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Know your enemies and competitors. Be patient. Build your advantage piece by piece. Defend your money and your time. Attack only when the time is perfect. Never go beyond your limits. Wealth is not just money. It's peace. It's options. It's freedom. If you want to build wealth the smart way, stay on the passive path. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because your journey to wealth doesn't have to be a fight. It can be a strategy. Thanks for watching. I hope this gave you a new way to think about building wealth. Remember, the goal is to win without fighting, to protect what you have, to grow with strategy, not chaos. That's how you stay safe. That's how you build true freedom. If you found this helpful, like this video, subscribe to the Passive Path for more ideas to grow your money wisely. Leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. Share this video with someone you care about who wants to build wealth too. I wish you luck on your journey. Feel free to check out other videos